Alrighty, you. Whoa! Hello? There it is. Aha! Alright, you party people! We are back at it again with them Warriors comics. And for once, this may come as a shock to you all. Definitely came as a shock to me. I'm actually not tired. And now every semi in the world decides to drive by my house. Hello. Hopefully the noise gate is good enough. I don't think you guys can hear it. Anyway. Without ado's being any way furthered. Let's get into it, shall we? If I sound different, or if my, like, the whole setup, I changed my setup. I switched monitors that I was working on. So if I sound different, is because my setup is, I'm putting the glove on the wrong hand. What the fuck is going on? Hello. Right. Turn that off so I know what I'm doing. Boom. How's everyone doing this fine-ish Monday morning? Also can't hear any traffic. Hello! Well, Sheree, I hope you're wearing headphones and the kids aren't around because I may cuss. So, I'll try to keep that in mind. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm a little bit further from my mic than I usually am. Yeah, is it picking up okay? Hopefully, I am naturally loud. So it's just his head here. Oh well. Look at that. There. Lol, put it in buds now. Yeah, coming in loud and clear. Okay, goody. Because I'm always, like, worried about the noise gate on this mic, because sometimes it picks up my voice just fine, but other times I'm, like, right in front of it, snapping my fingers, and it's just not picking it up at all. So it all depends on, like, voice frequency and stuff. Although, my veto thing, hello, is being a way bit sensitive. So we're just gonna turn that down. Yeah, there we go. There we are. School sucks. It absolutely does, Waffle. Oh, I saw your community post. I hope your game development is going well. I know it's a pain in the ass, but... there we go. First cuss of the stream. There, and there. Okay. Excuse? Outside? Excuse? Thought I checked all that. Damn. Okay, then we got the under eye thing. And then that. And chat. Is it? Yeah, neck. Chest. And paws. Along with, oops. Along with belly. Fuck me, that's on the wrong layer. Lol. just have to stare off into space every time that happens to me because, oh my god, I cannot go a project without drawing on the wrong layer. It is the worst thing about being a digital artist. Luckily, we have tools, not cheats, tools in Control Z and copy paste and whatnot, so that's our saving grace, but still. Upset Yoda noises. It is appalling. Yep, there we go. It's tricky. It's tricky, tricky, tricky. So, I want to formally apologize to y'all about my, basically the video side of my channel going radio silent for, what's it been now, a month? Several months? Without getting too much into it, I had plans for a project, and then once again, the plans fell through, because I just could not bring myself to be bothered about finishing the project. It was a little too ambitious for me. So I just went, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna not do that project, and then I got depressed. But I have videos, I have several video scripts started, and almost ready to go. I just need to record them for them, and then as soon as I, like, came up with the, yeah, let's do, what layer is that on? You gotta be... Anyway, the exact week I decided to, like, get back into doing video projects, something else happened, and I was just completely off for the entire week. It wasn't just a one thing, it was multiple things at the same time that my whole brain just went, nope, we are not dealing with this. We're just gonna not deal with anything at all. So if my streams for the past few weeks, like, felt like I wasn't actually present, that's why. But I'm feeling much better now. I've got a lot of ideas that are doable, because I gotta rein in my own freaking ambition. So we'll be doing that pretty soon. Stay tuned. Also, I may or may not have had a little bit too much caffeine, so my hands are slightly shaky. Film is going well, picking up the pace again, finally got something done. Well, that's good. Yeah, even if you're just writing scripts or did a thumbnail sketch, I feel like that's a win. Especially in the video making business. If you just got literally anything done, that's a win. Have a cookie. Worst part. I'm fucked. Too much caffeine? Well, it's because, here's the thing though. Usually I drink a ridiculous amount of coffee. This is no, surprise to anybody. But the coffee beans that we usually make for coffee I don't know what the hell happened, but something's off about those beans, and they tasted stale and gross, and the flavor reminded me of like old dust and onions, and I don't like my coffee tasting like onions, so I just couldn't drink, like, the past few batches we've made. I just couldn't drink it. So I've been almost coffee free for a few days now, which is probably why I felt so terrible. Man, yesterday I had such a headache. Withdrawal is no joke. Stuck in the middle with you. It's so weird working on comics on stream because I'm exactly almost 10 pages ahead on the comic, like, posting wise. So I'm working on this page and I'm talking about, oh, I'm so excited for people to finally read this page, and I'm like, oh yeah, this page isn't gonna be officially posted for like another month. So whatever page I post, I'm like, oh yeah, that was like 5 streams ago. I kind of forgot about this page. What happened? What happened? Alright, let's go. Okay, they're done. Merge, 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 done. Let go. Actually, no, I'm gonna work on Brindle for first. G-pen. Ooh, that's a big G-pen. Oh my god. Hang on. I think the cats are fighting. Excusez-moi! Oi! Alright, well, jeez. Crisis averted. I like cats, don't get me wrong, it's just, oh my god. So territorial. It's ridiculous. Where do you post your comics? I post my comics on DeviantArt, which is linked in the description. Now, I would post my comics elsewhere on, like, actual comic sites, but since Path to Brighter Stars, this comic, is technically a Warriors fan comic, and I don't own the original IP, just the characters, I don't feel too comfortable posting it on other websites. Mostly because I don't want HarperCollins to come at me with the copyright hammer and ask me to take it down and change everything. Like it has happened with other creators. They've had to really go off the rails with their Warriors-inspired comics. So if I just keep it on DeviantArt and don't monetize it, Except with the live streams, which, on the live streams, I hardly ever actually talk about the comic. I just bitch about Drawn on the Wrong Layer and rant about Star Wars. I think we'll be good. But anyway. Speaking of Star Wars rants, you know what's sad? Star Wars has kind of gone stale right now. And by stale, I mean they haven't made a good IP since Andor. And Andor came out years ago. Like, Acolyte was terrible. What else did they make? Skeleton Crew was awful. What else did they do? I can't even remember what else they've made. Bad Batch is over, and Bad Batch was amazing. But it's over, so, like, what? Ahsoka is okay, but I haven't heard any news on getting a sequel, like a second season. I haven't heard any news. Same with Andor. Andor was amazing, but I haven't heard any news. So I'm just like, well, shrug. I think Star Wars is finally dead. Unless Tales of the Jedi makes another season, then I'll be excited. And if they finally announce Andor Season 2, then I'll be pumped. But for now, I'm so done with that entire franchise. I'm so done. So yeah, it's kind of depressing. All of Disney has gone stale. Exactly. Oh. I haven't even seen. I watched half of a trailer and overheard some people reviewing the new Snow White movie. And oh no. I knew from the very beginning, from the first time Disney tried to do, air quote, live action remakes, I knew they were gonna be dog shit. But this one took the cake. Holy crap, this one took the cake. I don't even want to get into how bad it was, because I just looked at it and went, nope. That's not it. That's just not it, buddy. I'd say, what the hell, Disney, but I'm not surprised anymore. I'm just not surprised. Actually, I am kind of surprised. I'm surprised at how bad every movie has been, but at the same time, I'm not surprised that they are bad. Because it's just, oh my god. Why? And then you watch, like, some of their old stuff. And it's like, come on, what happened? You used to be good. It used to be Disney used to be the standard. And now look at you. Fallen heroes, man. Marvel's doing the same thing. And it also owned by Disney, so, there's what it is. Just gonna blur his white bits before I draw on his darker stripes, because his markings are very particular. Was awful. Live action stomach was on every wall. Oh my god. Now, I did hear they're gonna try to do a live action Lilo and Stitch. And I don't care anymore. I just don't. Exactly. Especially if you watch, like, older cartoons. Like, I recently rewatched Titan AE, which is, I think, the best movie ever. Okay, not the best movie ever, but it's definitely still a very great film. Wasn't made by Disney, though, which is probably why it was so good. But, and I also rewatched Transformers 1 recently, and it's just, God, this is a modern movie that is amazing. So not modern films in general aren't bad. It's just the OGs that used to be like the titans of the what's it called? The what is it called? Not franchise, the industry. That's what it's called. The titans of the industry have just flopped consistently so much. It's like, what the heck is going on? And TV shows are no excuse either. A lot of modern TV shows are like, man, I don't care anymore. I don't want to watch this. Most of the TV shows that I'm actually pumped for are independent, like The Far-Fetched Show or Amazing Digital Circus. Or like Murder Drones was amazing, also made by Glitch TV. Again, independent TV shows. Lackadaisy. Holy crap, I'm so pumped for Lackadaisy. But these are shows that, like, no one in the, like, big screen is gonna hear about unless it gets insanely popular. And then I'd be afraid if it gets insanely popular, because then, I mean, look at what happened to Has Been Hotel. It was good, and then it got picked up, and then we finally watched it after, like, 2 decades of waiting, and then it was... aight. I think the hype ruined it. Like, the only reason, what was it, A24 picked it up was because they heard of how popular it was, and like, ooh, money cow! Oops. It's just, alright. I like the songs, though. Living Tombstone slapped with that soundtrack. Holy Lackadaisy. Yep. First, I thought you said Attack on Titan. Yeah, Attack on Titan is pretty good. It's not my favorite anime. Not by a long shot, but it was pretty good. Matt Mercer as Captain Levi, or Corporal Levi, whatever his actual rank is, depending on which dub you watch. Whew! His performance was a little too good, if you ask me. Right, that was Matt Mercer, right? Yeah, I think so. Worked with toddlers, so Attack on Titan hits home differently. Good. Seine das in the D and the Jäger. Can't wait till the season. Hey, yes. They actually got, because of the Kickstarter, we can expect a first season, a comic, and a DVD release of several shorts. So it's like, oh my god, they're fully funded. We're just, you know, waiting because animation takes 5 million years to do. Which is why for my animated projects, I am just going to write it and then hire a team, because that I just cannot. I cannot with all that. I'll do the writing and storyboards and designs. I'll do all that, but some other team, someone else can do the animation, man. I'm struggling with comics as is. What makes you think I could possibly handle animation? That was the wrong button. Alright, merge down. 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 That's all of them. Alright, now for the backgrounds, which usually takes 5 million years. Okay. Okay. Let's just start with brown. Excuse you? There you go. Okay, yeah, let me pull up the previous page. It wouldn't be entirely cheating if I just... Yes, it would be. Let's just eyedrop directly from the page. As it's not cheating if it's your own work. Uh-huh. Stuck in the middle with you. On to the right, stuck in the middle with you. There's slight highlights in here. Let me just put on a few. There we go. And then this tree, that's a different color. Just start with that one. The tree. A wee bit different. So because I switched monitors, the color, like the way that color shows up on the screens is completely different. So, if my art looks a little... Let's just say, if it looks different, it's because it is. It's really hard to find a screen that has, air quote, accurate color pickups, because, like, on the screen I'm looking at, everything's a bit more red. But then when I look at my second monitor that shows my live stream, it looks like less red. It looks more orange. So I'm looking back and forth between them. Hang on, if I lower this, there we go. Looking back and forth between the monitors. It's good. Clipping, flip. Smudge stipple sumi. Oh, I was working on a different... There we go. No, but down, up. sickness, toil of danger, traveling through the great unknown, going home to see my father in this fine land where I roam. I'm only going to Jordan, traveling through where I roam. That's not the right words, but who cares? I don't know why that song just popped in my head, but it did, and it took over, because god dang, it's such a good song. If Talia were here, she'd be yelling at me for forgetting the lyrics. Wait, where? There they are. If I preemptively, that's overlapping. Color some of the line art, it might actually help me visualize just a bit more. Going home, see my father. I'm only going to Jordan. Traveling through great unknown, in that fair land, ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, gonna get up out of the ground. Ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. If you're wondering what song I'm singing, it's a mashup between Wayfaring Stranger and Ain't No Grave, which are two folk songs that Bitsy Lee merged in her show No Evil. And her rendition of that song is so good. It gave me goosebumps. That's way too green. But it gave me goosebumps. It's just, oh, it's so good. Okay, those and that side. So if I just hit T3, I can move it down. Touch. It's still overlapping. Let's just put that down. So there we go. Traveling through this world of woe. Alright, since when was the last time I accurately colored the background at camp? Because in one of the most recent pages, it was not colored quite accurately. Was it this page? No, that's still too... Oh, well, the lighting is correct. So... Hello, phone. But it is later, so... You know what, let's just bring up camp ref, and then I'll just color pick from there. There we go. Camp setup. Boom. There we go. Going home to see my father. Going home, no more to roam. I'm only going to Jordan. Traveling through no grave, gonna hold my body down. That's the wrong... There we go. Since the background... Since the dirt here is closer to the trees and in the shade, I'm just gonna color it a little bit darker than everything else. Yeah, a little bit darker. Yeah. There we go. And then smaller... Especially since the sun would be over here, so the shadows would be over here. And they are surrounded by trees. Add in a little bit of a sunbeam here. I'm definitely gonna add a sunbeam in the back. Sunbeams are coming back, baby! Even though I promised I would go easy on them. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. Medicine cat den. Let's turn this up just a touch, just to block her in. Excuse you? What? Who told you not to be a clipping mask? Actually, yeah, you know what? I think last stream, or like a few streams before, I said I was going to rely more on the line art and then just add texture, just so I'm not creating ambiguous blobs anymore with just brush tools. However, it still does look pretty good this way. So if we just... with some slight overlap... light. Okay, yep. Excuse me. I had a horrible vision that my mic had somehow muted itself. I don't know why. Welcome to anxiety. It's awful. I'm going... ignore the voice crack. I'm going... ambiguous blob sounds like a failed villain. Well, Blob is an X-Men villain. Maybe. That's a tree. This is a tree. This, yeah, this is a tree. Man, it's been a while since I've had to do backgrounds like this. Because, like, for the past few pages, I've just been working in the medicine cat den. So, all of this just feels weird. No, let's... Your shadow hanging over me. A broken glass in front of me. Your face and see through the trees. I will find you. I will hear the ruins left inside you. Now, I should probably save my voice a little bit because I'm feeling kind of amped up, so I might work on the audio for some upcoming videos after stream, but that depends on how I feel. If then again, if my voice is shot, I'll have to do it Tuesday, but I might not be feeling up to it Tuesday, so, you know. La-di-la, la-di-da. Mother! Father! Okay, that looks pretty good on both ends. Ooh, okay, I got my roots in the ground. Just adding some, foliage, just to make it seem a little thicker. Especially if I... Yeah! Yeah! Hell yeah! Check that out. And then, with the other bushes, more yellow. problem with literally everything is when you try to use the bucket fill tool, and then it's just because every other layer beneath it just picks up every pixel, which is why I envy people who have those programs that the bucket fill tool fills the whole, like, that layer, ignoring the layers underneath it. What is that like, man? Because if I, like, tried to select, let's say, Brindlefur here, all I would get is that solid mass. What I would have to do is hold down shift and then click on every individual pixel of her being. And then your computer freaks out because holding shift is also a short key for something, and it's like, ah, what are you doing? Ah, help me! And you're like, please! Oh, my lasso tool is still a little bit on the fritz. But, I'm willing to forgive. There we go. Now, if I just do a little some of this, because there are actually, if I do this, because there are also bushes back there, and add some leafage. Whoops, that would actually go here. That looks good, that looks good. Wait, actually, if I move this one out just a little bit, so it looks like it wasn't copy-pasted. Okay, that looks better. We will add lighting layers on top of everything, so for now, I say that's bueno. For now. Oh god, all them layers. Welcome to layer hell. Okay, and then... Okay, this is a solid block, and it's also this color. Let's try to minimize the layers here. Okay, it's the tree, so it's gonna be this color. Alright, and then I... erase that. Actually, erase that. One clip, other layer clip. This color. Jimmy. Texture. See your shadow hanging over me. Okay. I just had to check something real quick. Down and clip. Like this. Maybe that as well. Because they did just paste on a bunch of mud, so it's going to be very shoopy. With a bunch of stray leaves. And, you know, and I'm thinking. Okay. All about texture with these. This is fallen leaf. You know the old saying, work smarter, not harder? Yeah, the key to working smarter, not harder is you actually have to be, oh, I don't know, smart? So, good luck with your endeavors. That's... Actually, this would be like a little pine needle brush. Nobody panic. This is a trust the process situation. Trust the process. Trust the process. Pass the trust us. I don't know what that bit is. But we're just gonna make... It's grass, that's what it is. We're gonna make it... Okay. Okay, now we unclip, clip on top of it, and then we add texture. There we go, there's that. I'm gonna take this, and then make it that. Oh. The blob down here made me think I had a second window open. I was like, wait a minute, what's that? Oh, it's just a text, but it's just a speech block. There we go. And then with the, elbow. Then with the, colored line art. It'll look nice and cohesive. Hopefully. Okay. That looks good over there. Squeaky ass chair. That looks good here. Now, some of the oh, hold on. Before I get too carried away, I need to correct some things. Actually, wait, hold up. The shadow would actually be... Just realized the sun's in the opposite direction. Damn! Okay, that's better, but it's not exactly what I want either. Again, this is a trust the process moment. Okay, it's better, but it doesn't imply that there's a big old mess. I used the acrylic brush. Oh, hold up. Maybe that'll be different. Okay, almost there. I feel like that one SpongeBob meme. I'm doing it! I'm doing it! Yes, yes! And some of these, and some of them, and done. The. I personally don't watch SpongeBob, but I know the memes, and my god, the memes are so funny. Like, it's just, oh my god, they're so freaking funny. Alright, finally. Whew, alright, hero shot down here, so we get to be, we get to have fun. Imagine that, we get to have fun with the background here. We can be abstract! Which, if any of y'all are recurring viewers, you know, abstract and I kinda don't get along because it takes me 5 years to figure it out. Alright, let's... What did the sketch say? Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Let me just blur it. Should I blur it by hand or use the... You know what, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna use the filter... Gaussian blur? Yeah. Gaussian? Gaussian? I don't know. Okay, yeah, that's a good start. And then we'll use smudge and airbrush. Now the smudge tool does take a minute to follow along with movements, so it's going to take just a second. I also add a... Let's see what add does. Here's how off the coloring is. On my main monitor, this looks very light pink and kind of off-white. But when I look at my center monitor, it's perfectly white. If I also change this to be more, bushy. And then this, and then bits of that. Maybe some of this. And we're just experimenting with this bit, guys. I don't know, it doesn't look so cartoony compared to the rest of the page. Okay, if I just don't do this instead. It's still weird. Compared to the background I did on the previous page, which I didn't stream. I did that one off stream because that one was just a straight up illustration. This is gonna look really janky. I think the only way to fix it is to just either commit to the bit or just make it a gradient. Oh, no, wait, hold on. I might be cooking here. Might be cooking here. There we go, party people! Anyone can cook! Also, if I do some of that... Instead of add, if I use hard... Really? Hard light at 50 is usually my go-to. I might have to use some white in here. Just soften this up a bit. But if we also add a multiply at, what was it, 65? Let's try 60 for now. And then make it green. Oh, I'm an absolute genius. Yas, queen. What are we feeling, gang? 65 or 57, 60. I'm feeling 60 because it still shows the background and but it also boosts the lighting. I just exaggerate it a little bit. There we go. Yeah, okay. There we go. Ow. Hard light at 50 for this one. And then we just kind of, you know, let me, yep, there we go. And then blur, if we blur touchdown, it won't look as stark. There we go. And then I'm going to add another multiply layer, but I'm going to make this one a lot lower. So we can like imply that the light's coming through the trees. It's a very good song. Give everything like a greenish but also yellowish tint. Okay, there we go. And for this, highlight that color and then deep, actually no, deep and then deep. We're just gonna ignore that. Wait, how bad's the latency on stream? Okay, streaming for an hour? Finally, we're making good time. Like, the past few streams, it took me, like, an hour and a half just to do the flats. But then again, there were a lot of characters on screen for that last page, so it was excusable. Now, for the caricatures, I'm gonna do the lighting highlights before I do the shading, because the lighting, just coloring the line art does half the work for you. Like, if you're struggling with shading and lighting, just experiment with coloring the line art. Which you do that just by adding a clipping layer on top of your lines and come in with your highlight colors, because that just does half the work for you. You don't have to worry about all of the cell shading at least if you just do this. Now, personally for me, around the eyes, I like to highlight the... I need to close that window. Those lights... I like to color the line art around the eyes a similar color to the actual eye, so it's less jarring. Makes the eye color pop, and you can feign glowing if you just color the line art. And then, maybe not that much, blur it a little bit. And there, look! The eye's glowing. Of course, it's gonna pop out against the... I might have to change the lighting here. The line art here. Because he's backlit, so that means the shading, the shadows are gonna be in the center. Okay, camp setup's good. What was his lighting in the previous page? Here it is. Okay, this? Where am I? Okay, I can close backgrounds. Now, I can't see shit with that window open. Maybe. Yeah, gee, now I can see. The sunlight was shining on the screen and I couldn't see anything. I'm gonna say diddly. Just gonna add a bit of this color to show that his head's turned more towards the light without completely making him brown. And his eye color was reddish. Just the faintest of glow here. And then blur it out. There, see? That looks nice. Alright, we're gonna move on to... Oh wow, right off rip. Okay, this one's gonna be a reddish brown since his head's in the tree. It wasn't that dark, but... I'm gonna turn that layer off just so I know what layer I'm working on. So I don't get pissy when it's not working. Also, a little bit of advice. If you want to know how to shade and highlight a character, keep in mind just the curvature of their face. Or whatever object you're shading and highlighting. It's just a very simple little trick to help the lighting look slightly more organic without, you know, looking too hyper realistic. Especially if you have a more cartoony, if you have a cartoony art style, don't worry about the lighting and whatnot looking hyper realistic. Just be mindful of the shapes that your character's, whoops, that's the wrong color, that your character is made up of. So, because if I went hyper realistic with the shading and lighting, these characters would look so weird on top of everything. And since Hazelpaw is in the sun, his lighting's gonna be a mix of green and yellow with a little bit of red. But he's also a brownish character, so the yellow is just gonna look slightly darker. And if we just blur it all together, merge it. Also, a very helpful way of shading lighting that I found is to do the, I don't know what the technique is called, I just call it like the reverse shading, where you just block in the shadows, and then to actually look like highlights, like to fake highlights, you just erase the shading. What I'm doing here. See, look. Working on the highlights, erasing the shading from his chest. To show which parts are actually in the sun. And it looks like highlights, but no, I just erased the shading and it looks like they're just showing the real color underneath. I'm personally not a fan of cell shading if, like, the backgrounds are, you know, amorphic, I guess is the right word. So I'm definitely more, what's it called? Soft? Is there cell shading? And yeah, soft shading. I think soft shading is honestly easier than cell shading. Because cell shading is like solid bits, but like, how do you do solid bits without it looking completely weird? It's more of an art than a science. With cell shading, at least, with soft shading, excuse me, you can, like, just rely on instinct a little bit. There we go. We come back in with where's Hazelpaw? There it is. Green. Hello, Arkip. And his eyes are going to be slightly more shiny since he's so proud and happy. Is that too much? I mean, if it's too much, I can just turn down the opacity of... Like, I can turn it down a little bit, like to 70. That still looks good. Yeah, we'll stick with 70 for now. I'm gonna add there. Clipping, multiply, that's a 65. There we go. Okay, now her shading, Brindlefur is going to be a bit more red. Mostly because she's more brown, and she's not exactly happy. So you can use shading to reflect a character's emotion, even if it's not technically accurate to the environment. It's a comic. Use the medium. Okay, that looks good. Now for the man. What a man, what a man, what a man. It's gonna be a bit of everything. I have some, maybe some green, a little bit of orange to like mix with it. There we go. Maybe a bit of yellow. Maybe just a bit darker. No, because it's not overly dramatic. It's just like kind of like a hero shot. Okay, that does look good. But his line art is gonna need a bit more coloring and shading than the rest of the game. Am I gonna be doing highlights? Hang on, let's erase the shading here and see if I still need to do highlights. Since he's backlit, we're gonna do some rim lighting. Okay, that's good. Okay, I don't think I'll need to do manual highlighting for now. If, since the shading's pretty much taking care of it as well as the line art. So we'll see what this looks like. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. To make these frames pop a bit more off the this background, I might make these lines thicker to brace them against this background, because it at a distance it looks like it's kind of merged into one frame, even though these are technically 3 frames. So I might come back and make these bigger. At least on the bottom. Yeah, I might make them slightly more bottom heavy. Well, maybe not that bottom heavy. No, that's wrong. Here we go. I don't know, does that work? It worked a little bit. A little bit. Oh, but to cover up this blunder, I can also do that. Yeah! There we go. De-blundered. Alright, I'm gonna add another clipping layer on top to exaggerate the highlights, oops, of his backlighting. just to make it look a bit more organic, I think is the right word. Let's see. That good? Checking on multiple monitors to make sure the coloring is all good. Body ba. You know, wait, you know what? Hold on, I could still do that. There we go. Separate the ear from the tail. I'd say that looks pretty well and good. Save! Because heaven forbid we forget to save. Dingus. You know what? I'm gonna bring up chat on my phone just so I know it's not glitching again. Hey! Okay, yep, it's working. Okay, now that page is done. I'm so proud of how this frame by itself turned out. How just this whole page took me so long to do. I'm not gonna render this one just yet, because I do want to come back to it later. You know, let it rest for a bit. We continue onward. How long have I been streaming for? Only an hour and 30 minutes. Yeah, we're good. We've got plenty of, we've got plenty of time. Oh. Gotta cut out the dialogue so we don't have spoilers. Now, okay, I am going to talk about the comic a little bit here, guys. I am so excited for the actual full-blown rivalry between Shorttail and Ivy Whisper to actually come about. Because right now, it's just been kind of Shorttail just being a turd. But now, I finally actually get to get into their full rivalry. And this isn't a spoiler or nothing. This, I mean, it probably is, but I don't care. I am desperate to get on with the action, especially between these two. I mean, they haven't technically been at each other's throats for, like, from the beginning, but they've been at odds. And everything about Shorttail just pisses off Ivy Whisper, and there's, like, really no reason for it, except Shorttail speaks his mind. It's also really funny how much everyone hates this motherfucker. I think it's hilarious because I love writing for this guy. But then everyone was like, oh my god, shut the fuck up, Shorttail! And I'm sitting there like, he will not. I do feel bad because I've given him a lot of screen time and attention when technically Hawkstar is the main character. I feel sorry for Hawkstar. I haven't forgotten about her. It's just for the past few, like, this chapter basically is short tail focused. I'm gonna move back to Hawkstar as soon as possible. I do promise that. But for now, we're just gonna have to deal with this asshole. Who wants to live forever, babe? Treat your mouth just like it's heaven's gate. How do you sleep so well? You keep telling me to live right, and you wake up for the daylight. I'd rather take my whiskey, my coffee black in my bed at 3, got to sleep on me. I feel like the line art on Short Tail here is a little thick compared to everyone else, but he's trying to focus, so it's okay if I give him the thick line art. You know what's really gonna be a pain in the ass is... Why do I smell beef jerky? Anyway, it's like, when I get to, like, the meat of the comic, a lot of it's gonna be spoiler, so, like, what do I do for stream? Do I just not stream the comic anymore and just do something else? Work on it off stream? Or do I just say, hey guys, spoilers, shut up? Or when it really gets down to it, I could just make the streams, like, subscribers only or something like that. But we'll see what happens when we get there. By the time we get there, it's gonna be, like, next year, honestly. By the way, the speed of comics is icebergs. But we'll see where I'm at in everything else by the time we get to that point. bitter in my company, a bitter in my factory, a bitter in my corporate side. What is it? Oh my god, it's 1:41 here. Oh god. I'm gonna have to have lunch soon. This is what I get for streaming later than I usually do. Oh well. Oh, mouth. Alright. How could I forget? You know what? I'm gonna... Ooh. Mini stretch break. Holy crap. Oh, my back. Oh. Oh, stretch break. Actually, after stream, I think before I get started on any, other work, I think immediately after stream, I'm gonna eat lunch and go for a walk. It's really nice out. It's still a little chilly. Still just a little bit chilly. But if I just put, like, pants and a coat on, should be fine. Okay, there we go. Down, down, down. There he is. Just noticed that. Also, this wasn't on purpose, but Ivy Whisper, this guy, and Short Tails rivalry is really funny because they have the exact same bangs. And I didn't realize this until, like, what was it, like page 20 in the comic? I was like, oh my god, they have the same bangs. Oops. Well, that'll be funny. And it is funny. It's very funny. Because they both have similar, I don't want to say they have similar dogma, but they have similar, please do put on. Hey, I'm wearing shorts, okay? I meant put it on jeans. Chill out, alright? Rainy here. Well, of course it's rainy over there, man. It's almost rainy here. I mean, the clouds are circling around us like sharks. Never actually striking. We had a little bit of rain. Friday? Yeah, we had a little bit of rain Friday. But it was very, it was just like, I would like drizzle. So yeah, Ivy Whisper and Short Tail, they don't have similar their personalities are the exact opposite of each other. And they're both very willing to do, I don't want to say almost anything, because Ivy Whisper is willing to do anything for his leader, Hawkstar. Let me turn that off. So my speaker is like right behind my mic, and my speaker does this weird popping thing every once in a while. So yeah, let me turn that off. Ivy Whisper is willing to do literally anything for Hawkstar, while Ivy Whisper is willing to do what is necessary, what he feels is necessary for the clan as a whole. Both are good, and they would be best if they just worked together, but the problem is they're just polar opposites, and they just can't. It would take a monumental, like, act of God to get them to actively work together and be on the same page. Which is funny, but it's also kind of tragic, because just imagining what all they could accomplish if they worked together. Could, but won't. Yeah, I saw that. What? Anyway. Tell me to live right. Then you wake up for the daylight. And do you sleep so well? You know, maybe they could work together if either of them just kind of got over themselves a little bit, but they just won't. They could, in theory, begrudgingly work together if their motives lined up. But they're not at that point yet. They're not at that point in their character development. I don't think they actually... Do they? Oh. Unfortunately, no. They never work together. Oh, that's a bit of a spoiler. I almost want to tell you guys something, but it is a definite spoiler. And I don't want to tell people about it because then they're like, when's it gonna happen? It's like literally not 2 years, like not until like 3 years from now because of how far away it is in the future. But I do have it planned. It is coming. And I am excited for it. And that's all you need to know. Regarding these two. These two. I'm making it sound like Ivy Whisper is also part of the problem, which he kinda is, but it's not like... I don't know how to explain it without getting into spoilers, so I won't. Anyway, I'm gonna have fun, right? I'm having fun writing it, and I can't wait to get a... Excuse you, phone. I can't wait to get around to drawing it, so I just hope the audience enjoys it as much as I do. I hope people... That's one thing that I don't want. I don't want people to be so infuriated with Short Tail that they refuse to read the comic because he pisses them off so much. That's what I don't want. Explicitly don't want. I want him to be a character that you love to hate, but you hate to love him as well. I mean, that's my relationship with him. I love to hate him, but I hate to love him, man. It's just, in short, a love-hate relationship. Back to Ivy. I think I'm just gonna do all those whites and then come back to it. You know what, I just thought of this, and this is completely off topic, but if anyone asked me on the internet where I live, I'm just gonna say Camp Green Lake. That's, just look at Camp Green Lake, and that's basically where I live. They can interpret that any way they wish. I'm like, oh, where's that? Like, he doesn't know. Get a load of this guy, he doesn't know. Also, test how old my audience is. Or if you're American, because, you know, I have to... A lot of my viewers are from Europe. Hello, guys. It's like midnight for you guys right now. Go to bed. Don't worry though. This June, July, we're going to be doing late night streams or like evening streams. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna eventually do because I do have a lot of chores in the summer. So hopefully we can work out a good time to where I appeal to the American night owls, but also have a chance to stream with my European buddies. Actually, oops. There we go. Unfortunately, I didn't draw a ref for him with his ears back. So I'm not sure exactly what it's supposed to look like. So I'm just guessing every single time. Uh-oh, folks, I'm getting hungry. I could ask Talia to make me lunch again, but I'm not sure what we have. Ow. Oh. I don't know if y'all heard that, but I hiccuped and that hurt. I am cursed with painful hiccups. Just people think, oh, you're hiccuping, that's so funny and cute, and I'm sitting there, I am literally dying, stop beatboxing! If you know, you know. Alright, now that, and he's got a paler nose, so that. Why did I even select his ear color? You don't see it. I could be doing his mouth right now. Damn it. Okay, here we go. Is his mouth always that red? I mean, that's what his ref colors are, so I guess. For once, the flats don't take me a million years. We're just gonna save again while I stretch. Because, oh my god. My right elbow, my mouse arm, my elbow's been really tweaking lately. Especially, like, because I know it's a nerve thing. Because it's right there. Like, my funny bone is going out. It's like, sitting at the desk in that angle, it just... kink! Hurts. Not to an unbearable degree, but enough to where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, ow. Gotta stop there. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna put these two on top, and these bits at the bottom are just gonna merge into each other gradient style. Close. Actually, do I have any good snacks here that isn't just candy? I got some Airhead, but that's not a snack. I got, what else do I got? What else do I got? Ooh. I have granola bars, but those are crunchy as hell. And, fruit leather. So, what am I doing? Apricot, raspberry, or cherry? With the almond thing, I'm doing apricot. Alright. You know what? Since the background's gonna take me a while, I'm gonna do my lunch break. Oops. I'm gonna do my lunch break now. So, yeah. I'm still here, guys. I'm just crunching away. What happened at the factory, man? Things off center. I can't tell. Is this almond paste or peanut butter? Or both? It's some sort of nut butter, that's for sure. That's what I'm smelling. It's the crock pot. Okay. I thought I was smelling something awful. Oh no. It's the chicken. It's 2 o'clock. That could probably be put on low right now. Oh, we need to check the water. If only there was someone else in the house. Hold on. Hey, Dad? This wrapper is giving me... Ah! There. Great. Now I got apricot fruit leather stuck in my teeth. Very short lunch break. Nope. There we go. Merge. Oh, okay, but now we need to bring this. Where is it? Here it is. Oh, pardon. And this back out, bring that out. Color in behind so there's not any awkward. Ugh. Oh. Select, 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 select. There we go. Shimmy, shoo. Shimmy, shoo. I'm on the wrong layer. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. I don't actually know if that's how you pronounce the name of this brush, but I really like saying it like that, so... Who cares? I'm having fun. Oh, wait, now hold up. Hold up, gang. There we go, that's a little bit more cohesive. Now, for behind it, it's got a tree, and then the rest of the forest. So we got a tree. Ah! Tree. Tree. And then behind them's lighter tree. Smaller tree. And then behind that, since it's that away, we got very distant crack between the thingums. Slight yellowing. And then bushes. Man, if we just do no, let's just make a little bit of that. Whoops. Some of this, some of that, bit of this, bit of this. That, I think that's okay. It's, the forest is thinner this way. So we can squeeze. No, I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it. There we go. Here, hang on. Let's just fill these in. There. That's better. That's better. Get a little bit of branching. Maybe some twigs in there. Some sticks. A bit of shading. There we go. That's a little better, at least. And next to that, we're just gonna have... What color are we thinking for this emotion? Because it's mistrustful, but not anxiety. That's orange, so it's going to be... a reddish orange. Because he is mistrustful. Is that? That works. That works. I like that. Maybe not quite to... For now, this is good. I'm gonna merge these layers down a touch. And by a touch, I mean basically all the way. Because we are running out of room here. yeah, that's better. I'm not sure what exactly what's going to be going on here. I know it's probably going to be a gradient with an abstract background, but I know what this is, so we're just going to move on. Here, yeah, lining this comic, I think, is when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna rely I'm gonna rely more on the line art. Do my ears deceive me? Is that truly what I think it is? We have a slight drizzle, folks! A slight drizzle! Ah. Will it actually evolve into a rain? Most likely not. Okay, this is gonna be slightly shaded. This is gonna have shading. Okay, so that page. Let's bring out that color a little bit. You know, if I just skip ahead and start coloring the greenish tinting on the ground now, I won't have to do it later. All about working smart and not hard. Now, oh my god, when I go on hiatus, this comic's probably gonna go on hiatus, June-ish. Definitely July and August. I'm going to redesign the nursery because this is what the hell is this? This is that thing from Star Trek, alright? It's just, what is this? It's supposed to be a rock. A hollowed out rock, but bruh, nah. What I'm gonna do instead is I'm going to make it look completely different and then not address it. I mean, I technically mid-run redesigned Hazelpaw. It wasn't really more of a redesign, it was a recolor. He got different colors. And the drizzling stopped. Well, it was fun while it lasted. I keep hitting the duplicate layer instead of the merge layer because they're like right next to each other and it's pissing me off. Yeah, below. Below. I also hate that every time I change Windows, it keeps putting me to the top of the I have to keep scrolling all the way down. This is really annoying, you guys. So I'm gonna swap these colors. I'm gonna put that one over there and put this one over there. There we go. And that one over there. Me. There we go. Yes. Might be a little dark, but it's in the shade, so we can squeeze it. How long have I been streaming? 2 hours, 30 minutes. You know, I'm gonna finish this page and we might call it good. Because by then it'll be like 3 o'clock, and if I want to like have a nice walk and it not be cold, and you know, if truck's trying to run me over, I'm gonna have to get a head start on that. So we'll do that. What do you want to go out there for? You have food. And access to the outside world. What do you want? Sorry, I'm talking to my cat. She's looking at me. And are you out of food? Is that it? Are you out of food? No, I ain't out of food. I'm busy, so I can't really help that. Remind me, Chad, I gotta top off my cat's food bowl. Or I forget. I almost hit the wrong button again. Yes. Okay, I'll open the door for you. Oof. I think chat's dead, lol. How do you sleep so well? You keep telling me to live around. And you wait up for the daylight. Oh, shoot. I forgot. There's a whole ass other tree back here. How could I forget my trees? We always think tree on this channel. A very small part of me is upset that I decided to rebrand again to Synthwave instead of the Cryptic Core vibe I had going, because of my obsession with trees and my love of nature and whatnot. And naturally, I am kind of Goblin Core aesthetic. Like, but that's the thing, I like the Goblin Core aesthetic. I don't really, but that's not really me. I'm grunge. But how do you have grunge on a channel when half of grunge core is cigarettes and anarchy patches? Well, you go synthwave, because that's at least cool leather, nice gradient backgrounds, and banging music. I mean, guys, chat, have you heard, you want some good music, find some, synthwave versions of songs, like, cause just pick a song, I think you can find a synthwave version of that song. It is so good, just amazing music, especially some of these artists. Like, I found a synthwave version of pumped up kicks. Oh my god, I like that more than the original. Like in the song Blinding Lights. I mean, that song is already synthwave as is. I think I've said this before. I'm getting deja vu. Anyway, that song is already pretty synthwave as is, but with a synthwave reboot of it, it just elevated it to the next level. I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. I can't sleep until I feel your touch. Ah, so good. I also heard a few synthwave covers of some Nirvana songs, and I love Nirvana. So hearing it synthwave was just an ethereal experience. But I think if you want my specific favorite genre of music, it's got to be space wave. And it's a very specific kind of space wave. It's not just any old space wave. I specifically like Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, especially Great Gig in the Sky. Holy shit, that song, just by itself, that song fucks. And it's just, oh my god, if you want to astral project across the galaxy, listen to that song with headphones on, or put it on like speakers, especially on vinyl, crank it up and just lay on the floor. It's an otherworldly experience. I don't do drugs or nothing, but if I did ever get high, that would be the first song I listened to. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't. If you are under the age of honestly, if you're under the age of of 20 or 21, hell, 25. If you're 25 and younger, do not take illicit substances, even alcohol or marijuana, because there has been studies of children who are exposed to marijuana. It does affect them developmentally. And by affect them, I mean stunt them. And I heard somewhere that your brain finishes developing, and I don't know if this means stops or whatnot, or what it actually means, but it like finishes developing around the age of 25 for girls, 30 for guys, I think. So even if you're like, hey, I'm 21, I can drink now, it's like, well, legally you can, but I don't suggest it, even though I was doing it, so do as I say, not as I do. I feel old. Synthwave is a new term to me. I just had to look it up. It's actually I think the phrase was originally coined back in 2005. And it's based on a cultural phenomenon that happened in Japan that later bled over to the US. And it's this weird, like, if you type up synthwave, you'll most likely get vaporwave, but they're not the same thing. Vaporwave and synthwave are not the same thing. I'm more into synthwave, or I think it's called Outrun. I think I like Outrun. But yeah, Vaporwave is more like dreamy, dreamlike, pastel nostalgia for a time that never existed. Which, honestly, true. Same. But my favorite brand of synthwave, think 80s Tron. There you go. That's like my favorite brand of synthwave. Tron. 80s Tron, or like basically 80s but with a synthesizer. Even though I'm more like, my favorite music genre is rock and metal, I also really like synthwave because it's like a mix between it. This is a terrible way to explain it, but synthwave for me is like the happy middle ground between rock and dubstep. All three of them are completely different, but for me, it's like a happy middle ground to get to. Like, okay, if you've seen Thor Ragnarok, that music was pretty synthwave. Probably why I liked it so much. But then the MCU version of Asgard was also kind of synthwave. It was like medieval future punk, and it was just this weird this weird niche that really tickled me. Like, oh, I love it. No, that's not the right color at all. No, that's I said, ooh, I'm blinded by light. Oh, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. Said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. You're the one I trust. This doesn't, it doesn't quite feel right. Like, it's supposed to be, a clash of stubbornness. Well, that looks even worse. Yuck. Ew, that looks awful. Alright, hang on, let's figure something out. Alright, filter, magazine. No, not multiply. So if I make this lighting slightly more red... Elbow. The audacity. The audacity of my body shutting down when I don't want it to. It'll get to the point where I just need to wear a compression suit in order to stay alive. Or to keep functioning. Which would be really expensive. Oof. Jeez. Hello there. Loco woke up from his nap. Is there really a rune stream if I don't stop to let the dog out? Alright, hang on. I'll be right back. I need to let the pup out. Back. Ugh. I thought I heard something. Alrighty. There we go. Well, that might be a little bit too dark because his mood is pretty light, so it's shading should be pretty light as well, so I'm just gonna reshade that. Or just erase. And then I just blur it. There. Now he's much lighter. We only got the one splash paw here, so let's make his lighting count. Okay, that looks pretty good. Here's this slightly darker shading. Okay, that kind of looks a little weird. So if I make this, instead of more orange, more yellow. Like a lighter yellow. There we go. Maybe that's a little better. That's a little bit better. That is much better. Now we color the line art. Yay! And then we are done with this page. Oh, there's the dog again. Now he's at the door. We'll have to double check this line art on closer inspection. Hello. Yep. 3 o'clock. Damn. Well, that's my cue to wrap it up. Alright, yeah, that doesn't look right. There we go. I said, ooh, I feel your touch. Okay, if not all of the line art is colored, as long as the vast majority of it is, we should still be okay. Alrighty, I think... Close that. This is the perfect place to stop. At least for now. Yeah, we're gonna stop for now, because my body hurts. And I need a walk. Ignore the fact that I just noticed that Ivy Whisper is technically floating. With no legs behind these, Ignore that. Anyway, 2 whole pages in 1 stream. That's an Academy record, especially since given my track record for the past few days. Holy shit, I've been out of whack. I realized my mic was pointed out in an odd direction. I need a team. Anyway. Thank you all so much for watching. Whether you watch live or after the fact, either way, I love you. This Thursday, I don't know what's going to happen. Because, Thursday streams were, like, before I started doing art fight prep, it was just comics again. But I kind of like to have Mondays for comics, and then Thursdays for something else, and maybe, like, additional mini streams in between that might be just sporadic. So... I don't know what's going to happen this Thursday, because a lot can happen on Tuesday and Wednesday, especially since I do have my whole week scheduled. Except Thursday, because I'm not sure exactly how much I'm gonna get done. Let me check my schedule. Sleep it does, record, starving artist tad, post, Thursday, yep. Looking at this, I'm probably going to have I'm gonna stream every Monday and Thursday. However, I may or may not, this is just the schedule I'm thinking, I may or may not have a video up every other week. Not because it's gonna take, take 2 weeks to make a video, it's just I want to actually, you know, remember that I have other projects to do outside of YouTube, and that I should probably do them. And a lot of them is just stuff I can do away from YouTube, because I'm still in the scripting phase. Bang my head against the desk. If you've inspired me to get on my drawing tab and enjoy your walk, I will, and thank you, and you're welcome. Anyway, so that's just the plan that's in place for now. Again, I don't know what's gonna happen this Thursday, but I do plan to stream this Thursday. Just not sure what it's gonna be yet. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna be it for now. And I will see you all later. Bye-bye.